You ever wake up at the ungodly hour of 5 a.m., already dreading the day, only for your phone to ring and completely derail whatever sliver of peace you had left? Yeah, that was my Monday. My name's Kai, and what started as a groggy mistake turned into an epic saga of mistaken identity and me getting a free weekend. The phone blared at precisely 5:13 a.m. Groaning, I fumbled for it, muttering a half-asleep hello. A woman's voice, sharper than a razor blade on a winter morning, immediately started barking orders. Kai, it's Terry. Where are you? You're on for the weekend shift, and you need to get in here now. I blinked, trying to clear the sleep fog. Terry, I think you have the wrong number. I'm Kai, but I don't work anywhere you're talking about. There was a pregnant pause, then a sniff of pure disbelief. Don't you dare tell me I have the wrong number, Kai. You've got that Friday and Saturday shift, and if you don't show up, you're fired. She hung up, just like that. I stared at my phone, bewildered. Fired for a job I don't have. Before I could even process the absurdity, my phone rang again. It was Terry. Again. Listen, Kai, she snapped, clearly bypassing any semblance of an apology. I don't know what kind of game you're playing, but if you don't confirm that you're coming in this weekend, I'm taking it as insubordination. And that's when something in my sleep-deprived brain clicked. A mischievous little spark ignited. Oh, I'll confirm, all right, I said, my voice suddenly much clearer, a hint of steel entering it. But only if I'm paid time and a half for Saturday and double time for Sunday. And I want that in writing, Terry. A choked gasp on the other end. Time and a half, double time, that's not company policy, Kai. You know our standard rates. I don't care about your standard rates, Terry. I cut her off, leaning into the bit now. My rates are non-negotiable, and frankly, considering you're calling me at 5 in the morning on my day off, I'm feeling a little underappreciated. How about double time on Saturday and triple time on Sunday? I paused, letting that sink in. And don't forget the written confirmation. The silence on her end was glorious, quickly followed by an indignant squawk. Triple time? What are you even talking about? You make $15 an hour, Kai. 15. $15 an hour? Oh, honey, no. That's when I knew she was really off the mark. My actual pay, if I did work there, would be significantly less. My initial amusement morphed into full-blown commitment to the bit. I could hear other voices in the background now, hushed at first, then growing louder as Terry's tirade escalated. Did she just say Kai makes 15 an hour? Someone whispered, followed by a chorus of confused murmurs. It sounded like a whole break room was now invested in my fictional employment status. Then a new voice, calmer but clearly stressed, cut through the din. Terry, give me the phone. A beat, then, hello, this is Bill. Terry says you're refusing to come in unless you get overtime. Can you explain that? Sure, Bill, I said, my voice smooth as silk. I'll explain. I'll work the weekend, but only if I get double time on Saturday and triple time on Sunday. And of course, a written confirmation of my new, highly compensated schedule. Bill sighed, a long, weary sound. Look, Kai, this doesn't sound like you. You've never been like this. What's going on? He clearly thought I was the actual employee, just having a breakdown. What's going on, Bill? I countered, feeling a surge of pure, unadulterated petty power, is that you woke me up at 5:13 a.m., so now it's triple time for the entire weekend. Non-negotiable. The line went dead. Bill hung up. I chuckled, a low, satisfied sound, and rolled over, pulling the covers up. Mission accomplished. I drifted back to sleep, unaware of the chaos I just unleashed in some poor, understaffed office. When I finally woke up for real a few hours later, my wife was looking at me with a quizzical expression, a mug of coffee in her hand. Who was calling you so early? She asked. Oh, I said, stretching contentedly, just a work call. Confirmed, I've got the whole weekend off. She gave me a weird look, and it was only then, as the last vestiges of sleep left my brain, that I fully processed the hour-long conversation I just had with Terry and Bill. So there you have it, a woman, convinced she had the right guy, inadvertently gave me, a complete stranger, a ridiculously easy way to get a full weekend free. All it took was a little bluff, a lot of absurdity, and a firm demand for triple time. Learn from my story, folks. Always double-check your contacts, especially before you start threatening to fire someone.
You think the first two were crazy, the next one's a whole different level. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss more stories like this.
You ever just want to walk into a store, grab your stuff, and leave without having to prove you're not actually paid to be there? Yeah, me too. But sometimes life and a certain type of customer has other plans. So there I was, Cedric, 38 years old and already running on fumes. I'd been pulling a graveyard shift at the hotel, which means by 3 a.m., my brain was mostly just a collection of vaguely remembered memes and the desperate urge for caffeine. But duty called, specifically, the duty to feed myself something other than vending machine chips before my next shift started. I figured a quick run to our friendly neighborhood Bulls, you know, the one big red circle, let's just call it Target for brevity, was in order. I navigated the strangely quiet aisles, humming some tuneless tune, probably looking like a zombie on a mission. Grabbed my groceries, mostly just coffee, a sad microwave burrito and some protein bars. No fuss, no drama. Just me and my existential dread. Then I swung over to the men's clothing section, thinking I might as well snag a new t-shirt while I was there. That's when it happened. A sharp, unexpected poke right between my shoulder blades jolted me out of my weary trance. I spun around, half expecting to see a rogue shopping cart. Instead, I was face to face with a woman, probably mid-50s, with a severe blonde bob, a gleaming cross necklace, and a scowl that could curdle milk. Her hands were on her hips, and she looked like she'd just bitten into a very sour lemon. Her voice, though, was pure venom dripping with impatience. "Excuse me, you work here, don't you? Where's the men's clothing section?" I blinked, genuinely confused. No ma'am, I don't. I'm just a customer, same as you." My voice was a tired monotone, probably not helping my case. She scoffed, a truly dismissive sound. "Don't lie to me. You're wearing a blue shirt." I was, a plain, dark blue t-shirt, my graveyard chic. "Now I need help and you're going to help me." Her tone left no room for debate. I felt a sigh build deep in my chest. This was going to be one of those nights. "Look, I really don't work here. I'm just trying to buy some stuff." I tried to sidestep her, but she moved with me, blocking my path. She was surprisingly agile for someone so perpetually annoyed. That's when I noticed movement behind her. A few other women, all looking suspiciously similar in their stern expressions and sensible shoes, were starting to gather. Oh, great. The Karen Brigade was assembling. "He's clearly just being lazy, Carol," one of them piped up, her voice sharp. "Get his manager," another added. "They always try to get out of helping." Carol, emboldened by her growing posse, puffed herself up even more. My exhaustion was rapidly morphing into genuine annoyance. "Seriously, ladies, I do not work here. I've been on my feet for 9 hours already, and I just want to go home." I gestured vaguely at my half-filled cart, which suddenly felt less like sustenance and more like an indictment. Carol, with a triumphant smirk, challenged me. "Fine, then prove it. Where's your name tag, your uniform?" I was about to lose it, about to point out the glaring absence of any Target logo on my plain blue shirt, when a familiar voice cut through the growing tension. "Cedric, what in the world is going on here?" It was Jules, my old friend from high school, now working the jewelry counter, bless her no-nonsense heart. She had a bright smile and an even brighter spirit, but right now, she looked utterly bewildered, her eyes darting from me to the huddle of disgruntled women. Before I could even explain, Carol rounded on Jules. "He's refusing to help me. He's being incredibly rude, and he says he doesn't work here, but he clearly does." Jules raised an eyebrow, a slow, deliberate movement. She glanced at my forlorn blue t-shirt, then back at Carol, a small smirk playing on her lips. "Carol, is it? Ma'am, I can assure you, Cedric has never worked a day in his life at Target. Not here, not anywhere else, actually. He's a hotel clerk. I've known him since we were kids." She then turned to me, her voice dropping a notch but still audible enough for the group. "You know, for future reference," said, "our uniform is red and khaki. and a name tag, just saying. The effect was immediate. Carol's face, already flushed with indignation, drained of color. The other 6 women, yes, 6 more had materialized, making it a full septet of Karens, suddenly looked incredibly uncomfortable, shuffling their feet and avoiding eye contact. One of them, a timid-looking woman in the back, mumbled, "Oh, I'm so sorry. We just assumed." Carol herself, after a moment of stunned silence, managed a clipped, "My apologies. There's just so many blue shirts these days." They dispersed almost as quickly as they'd appeared, melting into the aisles like sugar in hot water. Jules just shook her head, a soft chuckle escaping her. "Only you," said, "only you." We shared a laugh, and she walked with me to the checkout, chatting about old times. As I finally made it back to the hotel, sad microwave burrito in hand, I couldn't help but genuinely laugh. The sheer audacity, the quick judgment, the whole Karen Brigade assembling, it was just peak r/IDontWorkHereLady material. So yeah, sometimes you just want to grab your damn coffee and go home. But sometimes, life throws you a ridiculous curveball, and you end up getting interrogated by a flock of angry women convinced your plain blue shirt is a secret uniform. Hope you guys got a kick out of that one. Let me know if you've ever dealt with a full-on Karen cavalry in the comments below.
You know those mornings where you just know it's going to be a day? My gut was telling me something, but I put it down to just being up earlier than usual. All I wanted was a bit of peace and a McMuffin. I'd rolled into my local McDonald's, a familiar, comforting sight at that hour, and ordered my usual, an Egg McMuffin and a large coffee, my personal slice of breakfast heaven. I found a table right by the entrance, perfect for people watching, or in my case, people ignoring. Out came my iPad, in went my headphones, and I was deep into a YouTube rabbit hole about making the perfect omelet. Pure bliss. Then a booming good morning cut through my headphones like a rusty butter knife. I pulled one earbud out, a little annoyed, and looked up. That's when I saw her. She was an older woman, clutching an open beer bottle like it was her life raft. Her hair was a mess, her clothes rumpled, and she just looked rough, like she'd spent the night wrestling a badger in a ditch. "There's no one at the counter to serve me," she declared, her voice slurring slightly. My brain did a quick scan. Ma'am, the counter was practically overflowing with people. A line of sleepy early birds, employees bustling behind the registers. It was a McDonald's, not a ghost town. I tried to be helpful, pointing vaguely. "Oh, there are people working right over there. You just have to get in line." She squinted at me, then her face twisted. "You Indians all have crap jobs." The air just froze. One second I'm trying to be polite, the next I'm hit with a racist slur completely out of left field. My jaw probably hung open for a second. Wait, what? My calm, early morning vibe evaporated faster than steam off a coffee cup. I took a deep breath, trying to override the immediate surge of anger. "Ma'am, I don't work here. I'm just a customer like you." But she wasn't having it, her voice ratcheted up, echoing in the surprisingly quiet restaurant. "You immigrants are ruining Germany, taking all our jobs, you're all the same." She started a full-blown rant, a torrent of xenophobic nonsense. I could feel the heat creeping up my neck, heads started to turn. People at other tables were staring, a mix of concern and morbid curiosity on their faces. I felt a wave of pure embarrassment wash over me. I just wanted to disappear. I tried to just ignore her, praying she'd run out of steam, but she only got louder, fueled by her own hateful rhetoric. Then she did something so utterly vile, so completely unexpected that I actually gasped. She leaned forward, a sickly smirk on her face, and spat right into my breakfast tray, splattering my McMuffin and coffee. My blood ran cold, then it boiled. Shock, disgust, and a raw, primal anger hit me all at once. My voice came out sharper than I intended. "Lick that tray, you disgusting woman." She just barked a laugh, a truly ugly sound. "You Indians are all the same." Thank God that's when the manager appeared. He must have seen the whole thing unfold. He was a tall guy, looking utterly bewildered by the spectacle. He came straight to our table, his face a mixture of concern and controlled fury. He took one look at my tray, then at her, and didn't even need to ask. He immediately offered to call the police. Part of me, the furious part, wanted her to face consequences. But the practical part of me, the part that had a crucial revision class I couldn't miss and a job waiting, sighed. No, thank you, I said, trying to keep my voice steady. I need to go. The manager was genuinely apologetic and understanding. He insisted on replacing my entire meal, free of charge, and hustled the woman out of the restaurant with a firm hand. I thanked him, trying to force down the new McMuffin, but the appetite was gone. Every bite felt tainted. My hands were still shaking slightly. So yeah, that was my morning McDonald's run. A quick breakfast turned into a bewildering, rage-inducing encounter with blatant racism and physical assault. It wasn't just a bad day for her. It was a nasty reminder that some people carry an awful lot of hate. I finished my replacement breakfast, but honestly, I don't think I'll be sitting by the entrance at that McDonald's again for a very long time, or maybe any McDonald's for that matter. The peace is gone.
This one pairs perfectly with what you just watched.